Let's clear the air about cold emails because this is one topic that people have been milking it since 2018, since I entered the market, and most of them have no subtle clue about what they have to say. Myth number one, volume. No one actually cares how many mails you are sending. So if you are an agency, it makes sense to send 100 or 150 or 200 emails per day because you are an agency. The other person knows you are an agency, so you have to have a template. You must have a template. But if you are a freelancer, you cannot send 100 personalized emails every day because that's going to take a lot of your time. And you cannot send also 1,000 templated emails in a month or maybe 100 per day, the templated ones, because the thing is, you are a freelancer. From freelancers, clients expect that there has to be a little bit amount of personalization. And you cannot personalize every client in single framework, even though they are from the same industry. The material inside the mail has to be different for every client. Now, that is something which no one will tell you. All you know is that have a body, have a framework, have a good title, have a good and that's how you do it. That's not how you do it. You take out bits and pieces from the information that's available about the client. You scrap their website, you go through their socials, you go through their personal profiles, you see what kind of valuation they are at, how much time they have spent in the industry, and there are n number of things you have to go through, and you have to inculcate bits and pieces in your email. That's the first thing. The volumes do not matter. If you send 3 personalized emails a day, personalized I means they have to be highly personalized and tailored. So you send 100 a month, your conversion rate would be a lot higher than someone who has just sent 100 templated mails. That's number one thing. Number two, and that comes about the subject line. In my experience that I have with cold emailing, whenever I kept it real simple and to the point, that thing worked. I didn't write anything out fancy. I'm not a big fan of emojis or sounding like a wizard or a ninja or something like that. No. I really kept it simple fancy. If they say we are looking for a content writer, I just say the content writer you're looking for, or your content writing hunts come to an end. Bus. That's simple. That is simple because the subject of the mail that do not plays that much of an part in opening, because see, the HR who usually sits on the other end of the screen, they have to see what kind of candidates they are getting in, and if the content of your mail is pretty good, you get it. You get the reward. Now, coming on to the third part, and this is one that I don't know why people do not tell you. Your body actually doesn't matters that much. That doesn't mean your body, the mail of your body, the content you are writing in the mail. I'm talking about that body. So you got a headline, then you got the main body, and then you got the closure, and then your thanks and regards and all that stuff. Now, your headline is the thing that makes the other person decide whether they want to read it or not. Because if you're just starting with, hi, I am this, I hope you are doing good. No, they are not doing good. They are like reading the same message for the 100th time. So even if they're doing it, they're not going to tell you. So you come up with something catchy. I'm not going to tell you what is that because that thing is chargeable. I'm not going to do everything for free. That's what I have learned by doing charity service for the last 3 years. So do not look at me like that. Now, once you are done with the heading, then comes the body part. Now, there is no set structure. People tell you that there is a set structure, but this is how you have to craft it. I'll tell you real short. Provide all the social proofs that you have. Do not leave anything for the call. That we will discuss this on the call because you do not know whether they are going to get on the call or not. So why take chances rather than just tell them everything up front and then let them decide whether they want to be on the call or not. Because you are not playing, you are not playing cards. So guess what I have? They don't want to. If you are telling let us connect to discuss more, I can elaborate more on the call and all that stuff. So you are that guy, okay? You are telling them that you will get on a call and then you will elaborate all that stuff. I jump in, I provide them everything they need. I got social proof, testimonials, portfolio, previous work, past experience, pitch decks, or all that stuff. I provide them. Then they evaluate. They'll come to me. Like, let's reach out to this guy. They'll ask me for a suitable time and we'll schedule the meeting. What you will do with that information, which you were going to tell on the call? Why take that much risk? Now, coming on to the next myth, and that is regarding the closure. So they say that the closure has to be, really different from others. No. And you will be asked to provide a Calendly link or a scheduler in most cases. Like that's what people ask you to do, right? In the end, you provide them something that they can schedule a meet or something like that. But with established businesses, and you know whether the business is established or not. So do not come to me saying that we don't. How will we know that whether the business is established or not? Simple. You go into their socials, you see what kind of workforce they have. If they have only 11 to 50 people, that means the scale is not that much large. That means they are not that much established. They are just starting out. They're kind of startup. If you see that there are over 50 or 100 employees, that means that the business is established. So with established business, they have premium scheduling tools. What are you expecting them to do? They will send you the link by asking you time. It's not the other way around. It's the other way around with the startups, where you can send them a link and they'll schedule it. Most of the time, they will ask you for your availability because they need their convenience. And you have to make your out time for them, not the other way around that they'll make out time for you. Because the company is one, the candidates they are in hundreds. So one doesn't change for 100, hundreds change for one. That's the case. And now coming on to the really last part. I don't know whether it's last or not. And that's not a myth actually. It's something that I want you guys to do, the ones who are watching till here, because most of the times people just tend to live in the 30 seconds or 1 minute time frame. Whenever you send a cold email, make sure after 2 days you send a follow-up. Because I have seen this thing, like I recently opened a job posting for a video editor and a thumbnail designer, and most of the people, they just expect me or any other business to be that vacant that I will take the pain to scroll down and go through every portfolio. Now see, if you are someone who watched it real closely, I told you initially that your subject line doesn't matter because the HR is going to open all your mails. So this statement is in contradiction with that. Okay, now here it becomes interesting. I'm not an HR. I'm the simple freelancer guy who asked people to send a DM on LinkedIn. So this case is different. When we talk about emails, there is not one single email that I haven't opened. So I got around 50 to 60 emails. I opened each one of them. That's the difference between social media and emails. Makes sense? Now let me continue. So what happened was I told them to reach out, and I clearly gave instructions over there that if you do not reach out with your pricing, whether you can start from this date and your portfolio, I am not gonna reward. It took me hardly 5 seconds per message because I saw those, I look out for those three things. Whether they can start from the 30th, the date I mentioned, whether they have added their portfolio or not, or something else. So in throughout this whole process, I missed out 3 to 4 guys because there was a flood in the DMs, right? So out of them, one reached out 2 days after, and that person got the job. He got the gig. All because he reached out to me, because he took the pain that, and he considered that possibility that there is a slight chance that Vaibhav didn't even open my text. And that was the case. Vaibhav actually didn't look at his text because it was buried down under the pile of the other DMs I was getting constantly, one after the other. And let me just be clear, like I'll make a separate video on it about outreach because people suck at outreach. They really need to be taught. And I'm not gonna just here come and criticize them. I'll be providing them the solution. So you have to take the pain of following up because most of the time, solopreneurs, founders, COOs, they tend to skip mails. Not because they have any personal grudges with you, it's just because that their timeline is already full. And they just oversee yours. Keep that thing in mind. So follow up necessarily and make it a habit of 3 follow-ups. First follow-up after second day, third one 2 days after you have sent the second. So from the, like, you send the initial mail, 2 days after it you send one, 2 days after you send the second follow-up, and 2 days after you send the third follow-up. So if you are not hearing on any mail that you sent 4 in 7 days. If you're not hearing, that simply means the client is not interested. And use extensions like MailTrack or MailChimp or some other to track your emails, because that's how you track your progress. So yeah, that is pretty much it about this video. Let me know in the comment section which myths got cleared that you had in mind and that you were following, and if there is anything else you would like to add. So yeah, that is pretty much it for this one. Do consider liking, sharing, and subscribing to the channel, because I gotta ask you guys don't do it on your own. And if you have done it on your own, so yeah, you're a G. I'll see you next time.